Hey guys, what's up? Can you hear me?
Oh,
One, two.
there we go.
Oh, okay, cool. I
All right,
hate Twitter Space.
there we go.
Never works.
No. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't crash or anything here.
Oh,
Um, all
don't.
right. Well,
Yeah.
this isn't our usual time. I know there were a decent amount of people that said that they were attending, but they might just have to listen to the recording. Um, yeah, I'll just kind of go over a couple of things, and then let you guys kind of talk about your stuff. So it's been a little bit since the last governance council, and there have been a few big changes that have happened and are in the works with Evmos itself. We had about a month ago Prop 304, and that was kind of the start of that reduces inflation. Inflation right now is about 1.5%, and that's kind of the start of some of the new beginnings of Evmos. I think that's how I like to look at it. Um, that because that one will kind of go with ICS, and when Evmos transitions to the Cosmos Hub security, then we'll see with the reduced inflation that the aim is for it to be deflationary when you add in the burn auctions, because Evmos will transition to using Atom as gas, but then that Atom will be able to be purchased through auctions paid in Evmos, which will then be burnt. So bringing the inflation down, some of the hope of that is combined with the burn auctions that we start looking at the beginning of a deflationary Evmos, which was famously known for being very inflationary. So turning things around a little bit. Um, and then also we had, we had 306, which reduced the validator set down to 20, just the top 20. And that is meant to help with the transition to ICS, and we can see the introduction later of governors as different validators become representatives in governance, but don't necessarily have to be running the validation hardware. Controversial 307, the XEN Regenesis. Maybe we'll see some Zen people in here later. Um, it was controversial as it removes a lot of the state bloat, and that was controversial whether you'd call that state bloat or perfectly normal use of the chain, but I think it brought the chain state up to about a terabyte, and this was a signaling proposal, so it hasn't went in effect yet. But with that, I think they're expecting that the chain state will drop down to about 4 gigabytes. So as much as I do like them, the Zen community, the community themselves, a lot of what we have seen over the past year or so of just kind of weird issues with Evmos does seem to be related to the large inflation in the size of state, which is due to the 113 million Zen contracts. So I think that passed with around 85% yes. So while there is controversy of it, overwhelmingly the community of people operating on Evmos decide that it was in their best interest to remove that. So I think that about catches up with what's happened in the past month here. And then today we have Steer and Lava. And Lava, you guys just posted this morning, correct? Yeah. I read through that this morning.
Yep.
Yep, you guys are looking to do another 6 months of funding to continue with your public RPC program on Evmos, and how we kind of talked before, like that is something that really does help to keep some of the more technical teams and the node runners here and everything. I look forward to hearing about that. And Steer, I don't think you've posted on Commonwealth yet, but you do have a couple of proposals, upcoming draft proposals that I think we'll be seeing here probably in the next couple days. Look forward to hearing about what you guys are looking to build and how you want to continue to support Evmos. So that's the intro for the day. Lava, do you guys want to talk
Yeah,
first? Yeah, all right.
sure. Yeah, all good. Yeah, so we've been working with Evmos and supporting Evmos for the past year. We started with 6 months a year ago, and then around, I think, March or April, we we did another 6 months, and now we're wrapping up those. And over that year, we've been, I think, gradually getting more adoption and growing within the Evmos ecosystem. So now, I think, it's probably safe to assume we're kind of the main RPC, access people using the ecosystem. So also in the proposal, I'm mentioning some of the stats. We have 36K daily users on the public RPC endpoint, which is pretty amazing. Since we renewed in April, we've had 100% uptime. We have done a lot of really cool improvements to the infrastructure. So we kind of went from about 250 milliseconds average latency to around 60 or 100. I think it's 60 milliseconds in the last day or so. We have many, top RPC providers on the endpoint who are engaged with Evmos and are earning Evmos for providing services. And yeah, for anyone not familiar with Lava, it's essentially a network that optimizes data access for users. So if for anyone not familiar with RPC and data access, whenever you want to do anything on chain, whenever a user wants to get any piece of information for what's their balance, what's the gas fee, whenever they want to send a transaction, they essentially need direct communication to one of the nodes on the blockchain. So that's facilitated via RPC, and public RPC is even, it's super important because that's kind of the main entry point for anyone who's interacting with the chain. So, to really give an onboarding, a pleasant onboarding experience, and for people to have, good impressions of any chain, you want the public RPC to be really reliable and very fast across all geolocation, blah, blah, blah. So we've been really specializing in the public RPC experience. So essentially what Lava does is whenever you want to query or send any data to or from Evmos from anywhere in the globe, Lava will connect you to the top performing data providers in your geolocation. So let's say I wanted to send a transaction to Evmos in Germany. Lava will essentially connect me to the best provider in Germany, best providers. So it will connect me to a network of providers. And also by working with a network of providers instead of just a single provider, you're able to do a lot of really cool stuff that give you a lot more reliability and security. So for example, you can, if a transaction or a query is failing, you can automatically try it with a different provider. If the provider you were using is failing for some reason, you're able to automatically switch to a different provider. So a lot of really cool manipulations that Lava does in order to make sure that users get the best service available at any moment. And yeah, I think we reduced the amount that we're asking for this period. Obviously, everybody in the market is currently down. So we are aware of that, and we're aware of all of the changes that Evmos is currently going through, and we actually think that Lava, can actually help and be a part of that and support Evmos through the process. Also, obviously with the RPCs and making sure that stuff actually work and users are happy. But also, for example, with the validator set reduction, I think Lava can be kind of an alternative or a new opportunity for node runners to still stay engaged with Evmos, still run nodes, still contribute and be active, still earn Evmos tokens, even if they're out of the official active validator set. So that's I hope I wasn't speaking too fast. Let me know if you had any comments or anything, and we're live on the forum and accepting feedback.
Yeah, I think of like when I think of you guys, um on I guess more of a layman's way, I think of it like, yeah, there's a whole army of runners then to go get the data, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, if one person gets tired, that's okay, somebody else got their back. And and you could have the fastest blockchain, but if the RPCs are having issues, it's not going to feel like it, and it's not going to be like that for the end user. So you need the fast RPCs, the reliable RPCs, to go along with the fast blockchain. Otherwise it's not doing you anything. So yeah, I love the idea of it. Yeah, it seems like it's good for the users. It seems like it's good for the providers too, because then, I mean, they're earning through programs like this. But also, I would imagine, I'm not a node runner, but I would imagine that it's hard to maybe get the traction for your services sometimes. So if you can just tap into something like this, and then
Definitely.
you're providing a good service, so you're automatically selected and you're rewarded for it. It
So if I can chip in, that's a really good point. Like as a sole node runner or validator or provider, you usually compete with others over marketing or
Mhm.
your brand, and you need to be active and you need to do all sorts of activities to attract delegators and users. But once everything is aggregated on Lava, data providers are actually competing over the quality of service. So they don't need marketing. They don't need to be a big company. They don't need to have social presence. They just need to, you know, prove themselves that they are providing good services. And the better service they provide, the more users they will get, and then as a result, they will get rewarded more. So it kind of abstracts, the need to have like a node runner brand. You can just
For sure.
run the node and compete. If you're doing good work, amazing.
Yeah, it creates like a market for like a pure meritocracy of, yeah, if you're
Yeah,
performing well, you're going to do well. You just have to tap into this. So yeah,
exactly.
yeah, it seems like it's great for both ends, for the providers and for the users. Um, yeah, I don't think I really have any questions. I think this looks like it's yeah, well put together here. Um,
Thank you, thank you.
not too many in the audience at the moment. Any questions? Any questions?
I'll provide a comment. I've been a little
All right.
quiet. I will say that we use Lava internally at Steer
Oh yeah.
for some of the RPCs, and there's, I think, a period in time for Evmos where people were having RPC issues,
Mm-hmm.
and Lava actually kind of helped us, get over those kind of that period of time. So, just
Amazing.
want to give a shout out to the service. I've also I love the tech. I've looked through it a fair share myself, and just love what you guys are doing. I think the aggregated RPC idea is way needed, and you guys do it best. So
Awesome. Appreciate it.
I saw Luis in the comments with a laughing react, because he knew the pain. He was around when there were all the RPC issues before. Lava
Yeah,
came
yeah.
around.
But yeah, so just wanted to just do a small shout out.
Awesome.
Yeah, and do you want to transition then to
Sure,
Steer?
sure.
You guys?
I can even give an intro about myself. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, I'm Derek. I'm from Steer Protocol. Good morning, afternoon, evening. I'm excited. We have a couple proposals currently on the plate. I can tell you more about Steer first, though. Steer is a generalized off-chain compute protocol. Just heads up, there is some feedback for somebody.
Awesome. Unmute.
There's we are a decentralized compute protocol, so we try and think of ourselves as like an abstraction layer for any protocol that's building on chain. So if you're trying to connect maybe Web 2 to Web 3, or maybe you just need to, harness some kind of compute off chain, we provide that. And we do that through a couple different means right now. The first way is through our Smart Pools product. Evmos was the second chain I think we went to ever, and we initially supported ForgeDex with their liquidity management needs. So if you are a ForgeDex user, you've most likely touched our system, and I'm very happy for that. And I hope you continue using it and loving it. And we have been building some other products additionally on top of our services, and one of those is called Smart Rewards. This is a stakeless reward platform. It allows for any on-chain behavior to be incentivized, and it's got the same ethos as we have for the Smart Pools product, and that's that anyone should be able to build on it. It shouldn't require any additional learning, and you should be able to use any data you want. And that's basically what we've done for our rewards product as well. So protocols are trying to incentivize on-chain behavior, or Evmos itself looking to incentivize certain behavior with those reward campaigns, can just get a little bit more depth and granularity. And we're really excited about this product. It should be a pretty big hit, I think, for everybody involved. And yeah, maybe I stop there and allow for some questions and dive into things.
Yeah, I remember when you first spoke to me about it. It was right around. Unfortunately, our last Forge incentives proposal did not pass. That's okay though, because I think with some of the things that are being worked on, like we'll see some interesting things with liquidity in the next month or so. And
Agreed.
kind of circle back to that, but yeah, like one of the questions that came up as far as Inferno with Forge was, well, people aren't trading a whole lot, and some of that is just Evmos needs to build out its DeFi, but yeah, it's kind of like when you looked at the incentives, we're incentivizing LPs, but we're not giving any reason for trading, and it's like if at least yeah, with something like the smart rewards that you're talking about, you can kind of incentivize all of the activities, that gets more fees generated, that gets more use, that gets both sides of it, almost like lava works with both sides. They don't just incentivize one side. The users are incentivized because it's good service. The providers are incentivized because they get the users and the rewards, etc. So yeah, that's kind of what I heard. Um,
Yeah, I
when,
think the
yeah.
biggest thing, yeah, just to add, right, the biggest thing right now is that a lot of the rewards, even on Evmos, are staking rewards, right? Meaning that there's really you're rewarding kind of these like this kind of like latent liquidity, right? That's just kind of
Mhm.
sitting there. Whereas like Smart Rewards actually doesn't lock up the assets, so the LP tokens can go do other things. And so we've seen a couple different protocols build bonding mechanisms for protocol owned
Sure.
liquidity. We've had other people build lending protocols on top of some of our LP assets. And so there's a bunch of interesting extra DeFi Legos that get applied once you don't have to lock up those LP assets. And that just kind of allows for liquidity to flow easier.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And that's, yeah, that's interesting to say that. I guess some alpha maybe. There have still been talks, if people noticed a few months ago on Commonwealth, a proposal that I put up for discussion with a stablecoin protocol, and with that you'd be able to use LPs as collateral. So just if just kind of saying, like you mentioning that made me think about that. Not
Yeah,
having to lock up your LPs and still receiving incentivized rewards, and then you can go and use it somewhere else. Yeah, I really hope that we're gonna be seeing that type of activity here in the semi near term, let's say, on Evmos.
yeah, I'm excited for those proposals actually. I don't want to dive too much into the alpha there, but I think it's a pretty cool initiative, and I think smart rewards is kind of a stepping stone to getting to the unlocking of all the forced liquidity as a backbone to all of that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just the more that people can use their liquidity, can put to work in all these different areas, because really that's I think, like a lot of what you want people coming back day to day to use the applications, not just set it, stake it, forget it, check on it
Correct.
once a week, once every couple weeks or something.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, you want activities that can be done
Yeah, and
constantly.
additionally, like this the system is specifically built also to use historical data and allow for external data access, right? So if you're using a Dune dashboard where like users have to, do certain actions once a week or whatever it might be, all that kind of flexibility kind of is built into this platform. So it's kind of very, very open.
Yeah,
So some of the internal team calls it like an omni rewards platform.
yeah, and like from what when we kind of spoke, um, it sounded like you were building this based on a lot of feedback from, because you're on what, like 25 chains now, so you're talking to a
Uh,
lot of people.
Yeah, we're on 30 chains.
Oh,
We
okay.
support about 29, just only 5 off.
Ah,
And I mean at that point. And we have about 11 in the pipeline. So there's
nice.
actually a fair might hit 40. But then we support about 29 different AMMs. Some of them cross multiple different chains. And so it's pretty large breadth. There's about 2,000 plus current LP strategies running across those chains on our infrastructure.
Yeah, so imagine you're talking to a lot of people and really getting a lot of these data points and understanding what's working, what isn't working, what people want to see. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think you're in a really good, I think you're in a really good position for that, to create the products that people will use, that people need.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's actually very interesting in that route, just because this is the number one product that that everyone's been asking for. So
yeah.
it'd be great when it comes live.
Yeah, I mean, that's everybody. It's all a fight for attention, a fight for liquidity, and ways to make it sticky and keep it in your ecosystem. So yeah, it makes sense that that's what everybody wants.
Yep.
Um,
In regards to the proposal, I think it goes up today,
okay.
if I'm not mistaken. So everyone can look forward to that. And would love to hear any comments, both on the forum or if you have any right now to discuss anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I look forward to reading through it, and yeah, just seeing what everybody else is thinking about it. Yeah. Any questions in the audience? We are getting to about the half hour mark. I don't think I really have any other questions. Doesn't look like it. Do you guys have any final thoughts, that you'd like, or just let it all take place on Commonwealth?
excited to be supporting Evmos. That's it. Basically plain and simple. It's one of our top core chains. So excited for the continued growth, and it's great to see. I think everything that's going through the proposals these days, and just pushing forward, and keeping the builder hat on.
Yeah. Oh, go for it.
No, I'll double that.
Yeah, and I appreciate that both your teams, you have extended out to a lot of chains, but Evmos was one of the first places that you called home, and it's really cool to see you guys continue to support Evmos while you branch out elsewhere. And I do have one request. It looks like we are going to talk briefly about Zen or hear a comment about it. So before we end here, I will figure out how to accept your request. Here we go. You're on. You're connecting.
Oh,
Hello.
hi. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I just have a question. Is Evmos decentralized?
So I think it was about 85% of the voters voted for the Regenesis. So I don't think that's really the argument to make.
No, it's just for example, in the future, if someone built on top of Evmos and that smart contract is immutable and it introduced millions of dollars, but the Evmos, and it took more than 90% of the block space, and it might be censored like then. So would it happen again?
I don't believe anything like Zen will happen again in the future. The create gas, I believe, went up a lot to make sure that. So the issue was that gas was very cheap. Zen creates 113 million smart contracts that take up space. It's not what the community overall wanted, and things are changing. My understanding is in the future you will be able to mint Zen, but it'll just be at a more fair market price.
And I mean, will the Evmos team refund all the deleted contract, Zen contract?
Well, nobody here is representing the Evmos core team or the Evmos Foundation. Um, I really like the Zen community. I really do. Um, and I think it's a crappy situation all around. Uh, But you look at it was about 83% of people vote for the Regenesis. Um, you can always go on Commonwealth and you can go and put up a proposal. Anybody's free to do that. You post it on Commonwealth, 5 days discussion. You can put it on chain and see what the majority of people think and feel.
Okay, just want to highlight, like if someone built in the future a smart contract which is immutable and it introduced a lot of money, then but the team or the community, the Evmos community, didn't like it, so they will just propose, and they have more stake, then they can censor these contracts. Would it happen in the future? And what will that affect Evmos in the future if it's not a decentralized chain and all these smart contracts can be deleted at any time?
With any decentralized proof of stake, delegated proof of stake chain, with voting, people get to vote and decide what is in the best interest of the chain. Somebody can always fork it. And I really don't foresee, I understand your argument. I don't foresee that personally happening in the future. But nobody can predict the future. Zen was seen by the majority of people as spam that did more harm than good for the network. And that is why 83% of people voted for it to be removed from the chain. That's about all I have to say on it. Anything else, you can go on Commonwealth, you can create a post, you can create a proposal, and again, it's about the community as a whole and what they decide to do. And so I have sympathy, I really do, for anybody that used Zen. But that's all I have to say about that. Any final comment?
I mean, Zen is living in Base, in Polygon, in Optimism, Ethereum, Phantom, Solana, Binance, Moonbeam, and they never censored the contract. It's living there. It's a spam filter in Solana, so it's benefiting the chain, and it's still living there. Only the weak chain like Dog Chain and OKC, they've censored the contract.
Well, if you feel that Evmos is a weak chain, then you probably don't want to be here.
Yeah, just saying, because a lot of money have been lost, and the team won't do anything. They just stole it. That's that's my conclusion on the situation.
All right. Yeah, thank you. I think governance council here should be for everybody to voice their opinions. At the end of the day, though, I think Commonwealth is the most official place to write something up and have it seen and heard by the most people. So I appreciate you coming up, though. Yeah, with that, we're going to end it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Cheers.